So is the perk Thresh actually meta now? From DMG the other night at like 9:30, he said, Thresh works in Crucible. We missed the patch notes, which is kind of a big one, considering we just grinded for a number of adept palindromes last week, and I deleted so many Thresh rolls. Now, luckily, there was a few still in my Postmaster, which I did not delete, which is what we're using here today, but by no means are any of these palindrome rolls God rolls. Now, the question is Thresh actually meta? This is a perk that allows you to gain super energy upon killing combatants. I know some of you are probably getting flashbacks to the Scory meta, but it's not as bad. At least with this, you have to actually get kills on Guardians or PvE combatants in order to get extra super energy. Now, we ran the numbers, and feel free to compare these numbers to both Fallout and Cool Guy, as they've already covered Thresh pretty extensively. But essentially, at tier 10 intellect, it takes 3 minutes and 48 seconds to get your super. A single kill drops that to about 3 minutes 42:17, but a single kill with Thresh drops that to 3:39:40. Should I have rounded up numbers here? Maybe. So roughly, Thresh trims off almost 2 seconds. And it very well may be 2 seconds. I know it comes in like a little under 2 seconds there, but let's just give it 2 seconds, right? 2 seconds, Thresh is trimming off per kill. You get 10 kills, you trim off 20 seconds. Shabam. Now, in the grand scheme of things, maybe that doesn't matter. But inside of trials, where a super can easily win you a round, well, yeah, that's where it matters. That extra 20 seconds, sometimes, fellas, you just need 20 more seconds. Hell, sometimes you just need 5 more seconds. This could be the difference between you getting your super in round 2 versus round 3. Of course, depending on how long the rounds go. Now, we recently reviewed Mantle of Battle Harmony. This is actually a Warlock exotic, essentially coming with the perk Absorption Cells, where takedowns of the weapons that have a damage type matching your subclass element will grant you super energy. And then it kind of like turns your weapon into like a pseudo to lock by increasing your weapon damage when your super is full. Kind of goes against Thresh here, as Thresh in its entire trait is just trying to get you to your super so then that you can use your super. Now, one way of looking at it is use a Thresh weapon to get to your super as quickly as you can with Mantle of Battle Harmony, and then swap to whatever weapon you want to use to chain damage. But Mantle of Battle Harmony in combination with Thresh surprisingly didn't trim off as much time here. Battle Harmony has a 3 minute and nearly 40-second time duration, trimming off approximately 8 seconds, 8 to 9 seconds there per kill. But when I combine that with Thresh, it only tacks on an extra second, or actually removes an extra second. Needless to say, I really wasn't all that impressed, because again, you're now throwing away traits like rangefinder, like opening shot, perks that can help your weapon win duels for purely the sake of a perk that will give you your super, and you're committing to an exotic that, as much as I like it inside of PvE, and I do like the damage buff, and I love the builds with Polaris Lance. I mean, we did all kinds of funky stuff with this exotic, and we will continue to do funky stuff with it. I was expecting more here with the combination of Thresh and Battle Harmony. However, Fallout Plays actually brought our attention to an exotic that I think some of us have forgotten about, Nezarec Sin. It comes with the perk Abyssal Extractors. Void damage kills, increase ability energy, and recharge rate. Now, Nezarec Sin all on its own was clocking at about 3 minutes and 37 seconds from 1 kill, which is actually less than Thresh and Battle Harmony together. But when you combine it with Thresh as well, it knocks it down close to that 2-second mark, about 1.5 seconds to 3:35. And we actually clocked this a couple of times, and that's where we really sat at, was 3:35:30. A couple things to really just take note of here. Number one, Nezarec Sin is actually low-key meta. I've always looked at it as a PvE exotic, but it's pretty S tier here inside of PvP. And you can gain the benefit of the exotic trait on this perk as long as you have weapon types that are void. Things like Bottomless Dollar, Palindrome, Royal Chase, Frozen Orbit, Last Perdition, Brass Attacks, Telesto. There's a lot of different void weapons you can take advantage of, and if you combine one of those weapons with Thresh, well, you'll be trimming off even more time here. So yeah, Nezarec Sin, if you're rocking void-based weapons, hell yes. And again, not tied to a specific subclass, although we do like to rock void-based subclasses with Nezarec Sin because it just synergizes well, right? I know Nova Warp's not exactly IP defining, but between void-based skills with your weapons, as well as handheld supernovas, you'll be procking Abyssal Extractors quite often, even inside of PvP. I was actually really surprised how well Nezarec Sin is. But we're not reviewing Nez Sin or even Battle Harmony. The question we're trying to answer today is Thresh meta. Is it a trait to find and seek out on your weapons? Like I said a second ago, the thing that's really weighing down Thresh is that it normally is in that final column. Take Palindrome here, for instance. Perks like Rampage, Rangefinder, High Impact Reserves, perks that can definitely help you in a duel, are in the same column as Thresh. Stars and Shadow. If you're hoping to secure more 2-taps with Headseeker or use damage dealing perks like Kill Clip, you can't, at least not in combination weapon with Thresh as they're in the same column as well. Frozen Orbit. I love this sniper rifle, specifically with high impact reserves, because I like to sit in an empowering rift and land body shots on Guardians with little to no effort. I wish Thresh was in the column right next to it. Would it have been too much? Probably so, which is why Bungie has intentionally placed Thresh in that final column, which is normally our damage dealing column. And I've gone through a number of different weapons to kind of seek out where Thresh really thrives on these weapons. I know Bottom Dollar also has Thresh. Retro Futurist also has Thresh. But again, one thing I really like about Bottom Dollar is Explosive Payload, which is a fantastic perk in 1v1s. About the only weapon I see on this list of Thresh related weapons that I don't feel like you're going to be really hurting yourself missing out on is the Shotgun Retro. Yeah, you got Snapshot, but for the most part, rocking something like Quick Draw and Thresh together should be just fine, especially if you're rocking shotgun targeting. And considering that this is also a void-based shotgun, you can, of course, combine it with Nezarec Sin and be a blink shotgunner. Now, for the most part, up against an Astral, as well as Fellwinter, you will probably lose. But if the day ever comes where those shotguns are dealt with, voila, you've got a shotgun here that can easily land the one-hit kill within its optimal range and secure you super energy. But the more I look at this, I think the only place I would really rely on Thresh on a weapon type may be like a heavy weapon. Take Crowd Pleaser, for instance, which can roll with Thresh, just so that whenever I do get heavy kills off, which are normally easy one-hit kills, boom, I'm also getting super energy. On average, though, throughout all my matches with Nezarec Sin, as well as a Thresh weapon, I went from 2 supers to now 3 supers, and I was using my super pretty much immediately. Inside of trials, though, where things do get stagnant, Thresh may offer some benefits. But again, there are some major drawbacks to this trait, being that it is in the same column with other fantastic traits. Blasphemer, Kinetic Shotgun, fantastic legendary shotty here, has opening shot in that final trait column. Yes, you can roll with Thresh, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you to go with opening shot, both for the increase in accuracy and the extra half a meter range. And you might be saying, well, what's the point of an extra half a meter range? If you can't get the kill, then none of this matters. So yes, Thresh is a nice trait. It trims off 1.5 to 2 seconds per kill, but in the grand scheme of things, that's completely dependent on you landing the kill. And in that final column, the traits that are present there normally consist from both very lethal traits to extremely consistent traits. So again, guys, I'm having a hard time weighing Thresh. Dude, if you're dominant and you never miss a shot and you don't need perks like opening shot or rangefinder or damage dealing perks, by all means, go right ahead, use Thresh. And even though Thresh is a nice trait and definitely not a throwaway trait anymore like it once was, would I still choose it over other recommended god rolls that we've given out for many other weapons that can roll with Thresh? No, because at the end of the day, if you can't win your duels, none of this matters. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you like Thresh? Are you seeing the improvements? Hands down, if there's anything to take note of, is that Nezarec Sin is kind of hot, kind of sexy, man. I'm actually thinking about doing a combination of Nezarec Sin combined with like Pally inside of Trials, and then about halfway through the match, I'll hop over to Geomax to top my super off. You see where I'm coming with this? Cheesy, baby. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.